Hudson County View Live and Uncut. I'm your host, The Reflection of Perfection, and your number one selection, John R. Heinis. And Election Day is just 20 days away. So, of course, that's just under 3 weeks, and there's a lot happening. So much happening that we actually have two guests today. First, I'm going to be speaking with Jersey City Ward D Council candidate Elvin, Dominci, and Encarnación. And then, after that, we're going to talk with Jersey City Ward E Council candidate Eleana Little. So we got a lot of topics to parse through over there. So not much recap today. The only thing that I'm going to mention is two big endorsements for Republican gubernatorial nominee Jack Ciattarelli. First, at his 40th annual mayor's ball at the Venetian in Garfield, North Bergen Mayor Nick Sacco threw his support behind Ciattarelli. He said he was the best choice to lead New Jersey forward. And he also mentioned that both candidates, of course the other being U.S. Representative Mikey Sherrill, the Democratic nominee, were invited. Only one responded favorably, and he decided to throw his support behind Ciattarelli. And one of the people up on stage with him, North Bergen Department of Public Works Commissioner Anthony Veneri, just put out his own video yesterday endorsing Ciattarelli, noting that he's a lifelong Democrat. His dad was a Democratic member of the Assembly, as was his sister. And nonetheless, he feels like it's time for a change. New Jersey's going red, and it's time to reset things, and he thinks Jack Ciattarelli's the best guy to do it. So two important endorsements out of North Hudson. Let's see what that means going forward. But today, like I said, we're going to focus on the Jersey City elections. We have two candidates in studio, about to sit down with Elvin, Dominci, and Encarnación right after this word from our sponsors.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View Live and Uncut. As I said a few moments ago, today I'm sitting down with Jersey City Ward D Council candidate Elvin, Dominci, and Encarnación. Elvin, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me, John. Pleasure to be here again.
Yes, yes, very much so. So, all right, look, we got an interesting race here in the Heights. As you know, I'm a resident, and look, it's a full field. The incumbent's not running. This is your second time going for council. You're running with Commissioner O'Day. Just give me a recap of where we are and where you are.
Well, I feel very proud for the work that we have done, not only because I'm running for office now, but for the last 15 years. I remember back when Sandy hit Jersey City, I did a cleanup to organize and clean the neighborhood. So I'm one of the candidates, I think the only candidate that actually have a track record for over 15 years helping the community. We knocked so many thousands of doors. We talk about the different issues affecting the Heights: parking, garbage, affordability, public safety, and I believe that we have the best plan, the best political platform to address those issues realistically, not promising about the things that people want to hear, but actually providing solutions that can affect our community for the better going forward, Wordy.
All right, give me some examples of those solutions that you have planned.
Well, for example, the garbage collection. I know through the Sick Fix and Click, we have over 1,500 complaints within 2024 and 2025. I want to provide at least 180 new containers throughout the ward. And I want to reestablish the Neighborhood Improvement Division, the NID, so we can hire people that can come at least twice a day to clean the streets, to put the garbage away, and also to collect the garbage at least twice, so the garbage don't overflow the containers. Also, if we do that and we have the street more clean, I believe strongly that we can maybe work to have the sweep pass at least once instead of twice. And that way people can save parking, don't need to move the cars every week, twice, just to avoid to get a ticket. I think stuff like that can definitely help a lot of people in our district.
Okay, very good. So as I mentioned, and as you well know, and I'm sure anyone watching knows, the incumbent Yusef Saleh is not running. So what do you think are some things that he's done well for the ward you'd like to continue, and what are some things that you think you'd like to just start from scratch or start over?
Something that he did pretty well, and I know this because he has said it many times, is right to cancel. He was one of the people that led the way as city government to ensure that tenants have rights to protect themselves whenever you got those greedy landlords coming in, try to keep them out. Something that I want to keep enforcing and protecting our neighbors in Ward D. But the main thing that I think he lacked is just how he was making his decision-making mostly, tailored to the administration, and also the communication. Like, we have a big storm that just happened recently. If you want to know that the parking was suspended, you got to go on social media. The Ward D that I want to see and envision going forward, we're going to have alerts that are going to go to the people, whether it's going to be by text, email, or even a call if needed, so people can understand not only what is happening with parking, if there is a street that is closed because of construction, or there is a major emergency, people can have the communication on hand and know, how to react to the problems.
I agree with you. Just on an aside, I agree. It's hard to know when the sweeping's canceled and when it's not. You have to have direct outreach to City Hall, and not everybody has that. So anyway, with that said, now, you have a lot of different characters, different personalities, and just different candidates running for this seat. So, you already mentioned it a little bit, but just elaborate why you think you're the best guy for the job here.
Well, I believe because actions speak louder than any promises, and when you truly love someone or something, you show it through your actions. And I want to tell you something that I never said throughout the campaign. I'm going to say here for the first time. I have to resign the best job that I ever have in this country and in a multinational. Because it didn't allow me to run for office, and I felt that my heart is in the right place to do the right things for Jersey City. And I don't believe anybody will have done that, especially somebody like me that is come from a different country, that learned the language for ESL all the way to get 2 masters. And then if you an undecided voter, you got to analyze when there is a tough decision who you can trust to make the right choice that is not attached to in a specific group of people, in a specific political machine, but it's truly going to be attached to what is best for the district and the residents of Ward D. I think I have the emotional intelligence to do that, even to deal with people that may not like me or don't believe I'm the right person to approach the city council going forward. And I don't believe all the candidates have that capability, though. They mostly align with certain groups of people that believe in them and they can get what they want for the city government. My difference is whether you moved recently here on Palisade Avenue or you're a Lone Light resident on the Western Slope, I'm going to do what's right for everybody in the district.
Okay, you said a lot there. What was the job that you decided to leave?
Well, I don't want to say that in details. I was in Wall Street and a multinational, and I have to leave the job. I have the option. My manager said, you don't have to do this, but at the end of the day, it's a calling for me. It's something that I'm very passionate. I truly love this city that gave me so much to my family, and my kids were born in Christ Hospital. My older brother died of a brain tumor in Christ Hospital. So that's okay. That's many years ago. But I have a very strong connections to the district and to the community, and I want to give back to Ward D.
All right, Elvin, don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, just sit tight. We're just going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Hudson County View, live and uncut, and I'm still here with Jersey City Ward D Council candidate Elvin, Dominci, Encarnación. So, you just mentioned Heights Hospital and formerly Christ, of course, and how that's been an important part of your upbringing and important for your family. So, obviously, they're in the dire straits financially. They're looking for $25 million like yesterday. So, clearly, a lot of problems there. And we also heard from the CEO, they said $60 million in losses since they acquired. That's 6 months tops. So obviously that's a private business, and obviously you want to work for the municipal government for all intents and purposes. But what do you think the private partnership should be there to make sure this hospital stays open?
It's the only local hospital that we have in the district. And I believe that we have to do everything that we can to keep it open. I understand, there are efforts by senators, I think Dominci, Raj, and to keep it open, get some money in the line. But I think the bottom line is that there is an interest behind to get the facility or the space to actually start building a new development that is going to, create more locks, condoms, and bring, more, money into those landlords and developers. For me, we got to find ways, either working with the city government and the states to keep the hospital open, because a lot of nurses, doctors and people depend, financially because they have jobs over there, but we also as a community depend on the hospital for the services that we get. That is the only place that we can go in the Heights. All
right, well said. There's a lot of talk about potential redevelopment. I mean, have you heard any details of what that might entail?
I don't have any specific details, but we've been in Jersey City for a long time, and when we can see that this problem keep happening, because I heard this happened a couple of years ago too, and also it's the same, if I'm not mistaken, issue with the hospital in Hoboken, and it's just always there is a debt, there is financial debt, but we got to make sure that either it's the state find the resources and work with the city government to make sure that the hospital stay open. We need it as a community.
Okay, and on a different topic completely, probably the main thoroughfare of the Heights, at least for the businesses, is Central Avenue, right? And we've heard a lot of proposals in the past decade, let's say. A lot of them haven't come to fruition, but there was talk of turning that Burger King parking lot into some kind of redevelopment. Obviously, that hasn't happened. Even basic repaving hasn't always happened. So, point is, what's your vision for Central Avenue?
Well, we got to keep embracing businesses. As you know, I'm part of the Hudson County I'm part of an association of small businesses called HACA, Hispanic American Commerce Association, and I know the struggles to keep a business open, operations, making sure that you provide for your families. They have to stay between 10 to 15 hours to keep it open. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking having an office that can find the resources to open a business, even if we can give some money aside to the startup and maybe make the business more safe, more light, maybe throughout the business outside, so people can, be more safer. But at the end of the day, business are core of our community. They provide jobs, they provide services, and I think we have to fight to keep it open. As far as the parking that you mentioned, I think the more concrete plan to make it happen, we need a multi-level parking, whether we can do it exactly across to the JCPD. There is a parking space there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we can make 4 or 5, different floors. I know the cost because I look at the numbers. It's about $9 million to start up. It sounds like a lot, but I think we can go to the state. We can get some grants. We can issue some munis, maybe some debt within the city government. I think this is something that is tangible because parking is one of the biggest issues that residents face in Ward D, and we got to find concrete solutions to this problem.
Okay, and but we're talking about Central. There was a lot of talk about added bike lanes, especially probably in the second quarter of the year. And one proposal had some bike lanes coming to Summit, and also portions of Palisade. They installed some new bike lanes, as you probably saw by now. So what are you thinking when we're talking about that balance between parking spots for cars and bike lanes for riders?
Well, bike lanes, as I said to you, when we sat here over a year ago. I'm very supportive of bike lanes, pedestrian safety and overall. But the problem becomes when you come with a project to the community and you don't include the people that live in the neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. As you know, back last year, there was a big issue with the protected bike lanes on Manhattan Avenue and also Franklin Street.
Yes.
What I would like to do, something that was not done previously, I want to have open meetings so everybody can come and talk about this issue. I want to have the notice translated in Spanish and all the different languages of the people that live in the community so everybody's informed that these changes are happening. And then I just don't want to start from scratch. Let's do it. I want to do a pilot. We can analyze it for 6 months to a year, the changes, and see this actually help with, public safety, reduce the traffic. And then after all that is done and everybody, not on the same page because we all have to compromise on ways on how, then we move forward with the project. Because what we don't want is just to impose these type of projects to the community when you involve the people that live on the neighborhoods, and then that would you create conflicts and people not being happy with this type of, solutions or issues.
All right, Elvin, any closing thoughts for us real quick?
Well, I just want to say to the people of Jersey City, I'm somebody that you can trust. I've been proving myself to you, not through promises and just with actions. We have done so many things to help our community, whether it's book bag giveaway, giving, dinners for Thanksgiving to seniors, giving toys to the kids on Christmas. I have done 2 food pantries to help people right now with, with food. I'll be proud to represent all the residents of Jersey City, and I'm gonna have your ears, I'm gonna have your eyes to do what's right for you, and I'm only gonna be accountable to the residents in the ward.
Elvin, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere just yet. We got another guest today. When you come back, I'm going to be sitting down with Jersey City Ward E Council candidate Eleana Little. See you in a few.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design studio and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Bath, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Heinis, and as I mentioned before, I'm now sitting with Jersey City Ward E Council candidate Eleana Little. Eleana, thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. So it's an interesting race here. Obviously, the incumbent, James Solomon's running for mayor. You're on his ticket, and it's a full field. So tell me how you feel, and just a little background on how we ended up here.
Sure. I mean, I'm feeling good as one can feel 20 days out from Election Day. I think we're all running on very little sleep at this moment, but
yeah, I feel that.
No, I think we're feeling good. As you know, I've been an activist and sort of involved in Hudson County politics for quite some time as a progressive, and sort of raging against the machine, if you will. I was very active in opposing the county line back when we still had that in our primaries. Thanks to Andy Kim, we no longer have that. But I ran for office off the line a couple times for county office, was unsuccessful because, that's how machine politics typically works. Have been very active in a whole host of progressive issues, whether that's standing up for tenant protections, pedestrian safety, protecting our parks and open space, building more affordable housing. So, I feel like, I've had my boots on the ground in terms of organizing for quite some time. And, I've been very happy as a Ward E resident with the work James has done in our ward. I'm excited to see him run for mayor, and I think I'm the best choice to succeed him. Even though the big shoes to fill, but I think I can do it.
All right, got it. So, nitty gritty politics, but, when you announced, I guess it had to be over a year ago at this point, you were running by yourself, and then maybe 2 to 3 months later, you were on Solomon's ticket. So what was going on in the interim there?
Sure. When he announced he was running for mayor, I certainly, this was on my radar. I was thinking about it. I was putting out feelers, having meetings with community leaders, and sort of, deciding what my next steps would be. James obviously is very well loved in Ward E, had a number of people who wanted to run with him for Ward E. And also, one thing about James is that he can be a little slow to make decisions. Not that that's a bad thing. He's very methodical. He's very thoughtful. And, he really takes his time to make sure he's arriving at the right decision. But, from talking to people in his circle, I basically decided I didn't want to wait, another 4 months or something to, in case it was going to take that long. I thought that, there was no time like the present, especially when we saw after what happened last November. I felt now more than ever we need to have good people running at the local level. We need to be willing to fight back at the local level against overreach, and we need to have progressives running at all levels of office. So that sort of solidified my decision to go ahead and launch. I was certainly open to running with James the entire time. I was in discussions with him, but I didn't want to wait.
Just didn't want to get caught sleeping, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Now, you just mentioned a lot about, some of your values and what you believe in. And, we have this No Kings rally coming up Saturday. So there's a lot of talk about what's going on at the federal level, specifically in the White House. So from your point of view, if you were a ward councilwoman, what could you really do to effectuate any change there?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things we can do is standing up and protecting the rights of Jersey City residents and protecting our civil liberties here in Jersey City, right? Whether that's protecting our immigrant communities against ICE raids, whether that's protecting our LGBTQ communities. against overreach and targeting from the federal level, whether it's protecting reproductive rights at the local level. Anything we can codify, we will. And for example, Jersey City is already a sanctuary city. That means our police officers will not turn people over to ICE unless ICE comes with a judicial warrant. And at that point, a judicial warrant carries a lot of weight. That's not usually what they have. They usually have an administrative warrant, if anything, or no warrant, and they're just snatching people up and ignoring due process, which is unfortunately what we've seen a lot of. So Jersey City is actually being sued by the Trump administration right now for our sanctuary city status. We are fighting back in court. Team Solomon, if we are the next, people on the city council and in the mayor's seat, are committed to continuing fighting back in court and protecting the rights of all our community members.
All right, and then just on that, so Pam Bondi, of course, the the top law enforcement official for the country. I mean, she said that if Hoboken, Newark, Jersey City, Patterson, if they don't comply with ICE, then they're going to start cutting funding. Does that give you any pause or concern?
I don't think that's legal. I mean, I will admit I'm not a lawyer, but I think this is unfairly targeting municipalities, and I think ultimately we will succeed in court.
All right, simple enough. We're close to time, so let's just take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a few.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Hudson County View live and uncut. John R. Heinis, and I'm still here with Jersey City Ward E Council candidate Elena Little. So moving on to localized topics. So there's a lot of talk about what downtown should look like. Obviously, there's a lot of wide-spanning opinions. People love the skyscrapers, they hate them, and of course there's people that are more in the middle. But there's two things that got a lot of attention lately, specifically in Ward E. So that's the Albion Hotel and also 150 Bay Street. So, I guess what's your broad vision of responsible development downtown, and what do you think about those two specific projects?
Yeah, absolutely. How long do I have to answer this?
Well, a couple minutes, I guess.
Yeah. No, so we are in a housing shortage, right? But we are in a regional housing shortage, and New York City and Long Island have not built nearly enough for decades. Jersey City has been building at quite a rapid clip. The concern I have is that if we don't incorporate affordable units, then we become very homogenous. We lose some of what makes Jersey City special, our diversity, which is why so many people choose to live in Jersey City and raise a family in Jersey City.
Sure.
So, we are fighting for affordable housing to be included. If you're building a substantial new development, we want to see 20% affordable housing. And that's not just workforce housing. So workforce housing is defined as between 80 and 120% AMI, area median income. And we also want to make sure that we're building at 50% area median income and very low income housing at 30% area median income. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about rents 1,000 or less.
Sure. Real quick, now there's our critics, and of course there's always going to be, that's life in this political arena, right? But they say if you make a 20% IZO, developers are just going to take business elsewhere. They're just going to stay away from Jersey City. What do you think of that mindset?
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly not our goal, right? I think there are ways to get there, right? And, every development might be different, right? We might have we're going to be encouraging developers to aggressively apply for state funding, like Aspire funding. We are also, I know this can be a dirty word, but I think pilots can be on the table for exceptional projects. That being said, I think they were very much overused by the last administration. So, I don't want to be handing them out like candy, but for a really exceptional project that isn't going to get built otherwise, and it's going to deliver on affordable housing, other community benefits, I do think judicious use of pilots is appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's specifically on those two projects, Albion Hotel
Yes.
and 150 Bay Street.
Yeah. So I was president of the Harson's Cove Association when the Albion Hotel presented to us. A couple of the times they continue to present. I felt like in that particular project, they were seeking a number of variances, and it felt that what they were saying that they were bringing in terms of community benefits were not really community benefits, right? They were saying, oh, well, we'll have a rooftop bar. Okay. Like we'll have podcast studios you can rent out. Okay. Like that's like, I don't see that as a community benefit necessarily. If I had been in the negotiating room, I would have liked to ask, they're building a pool anyway, maybe let Jersey City Recreation use that, 15 hours out of the week, for example, for programming. We don't have a public pool downtown. So, that would have been something that I would have said would have been more of a real community benefit. So I opposed that project. And 150 Bay Street, I support. I think, so 156 Bay Street, for those who aren't as familiar with it, it is, they're seeking a variance. So they're going to build, I believe, 50 stories. This is going to be in the Powerhouse Arts District.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're already required to build workforce housing. They are additionally going to be building 15% affordable housing on top of that, I believe, and which brings the total number up higher. They're also going to be building artist studios and other benefits for the arts, which I think is incredibly important downtown. And they're also planning on building a school and leasing it at below market rate to the Jersey City public school system. Now, I was a supporter of the Laurel and Saddlewood project, which ultimately fell through for unrelated reasons, but that was going to deliver a public school to downtown, that part of downtown. And I really feel strongly that a goal of mine is to see a new public school built, because there is definitely the demand downtown. I mean, kindergartners are getting bused across the city because there's not enough public school space downtown. Now, I think there are a few details that I would want to iron out with the 156 Bay Street project. For example, if I was a council person, I would want to, get everyone in the room, right? The public schools, the developer, like even some of the local PTAs, right? Just like get everyone in the room, figure out how we can make this work.
Get
right?
everyone a seat at the table.
Yeah, and I don't want a blank box, right? Which is what they're saying right now they're going to build. Like I would want the school to be fully built out, ready to be used day one as a public school. I would also want it to be leased below market rate in perpetuity, not having that expire at 20, 25 years, because I think. I can't think of a more important cause than our public schools. So, that is the kind of community benefit I would want to see. That's, I just think it's a great community benefits package between the affordable housing, the support for the arts, and the public school. Few details I want to see ironed out, but I do think that is the kind of community benefit that I think is something I would support as councilperson. Now, I don't universally speak for my entire team. I know we have some differing opinions. Some people are soft no because they want to see more details. Some people are soft yes because they think it's good and just the details need to be ironed out. Just speaking for myself, but I think this is the kind of project that right. We can't stop all development. We need development. We are in a housing shortage, but we want to see development that works for the community. And I think this would be an example of it based on the information I have.
Very good. No one can say you're afraid to answer questions. Thank you for coming in, Elena. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We're already done for this week. I'll see you on Friday when I'm moderating the Jersey City Ward E Council candidate debate. That's going to be at 1 p.m. So I'll see you then. Take it easy.
All right. Thank you so much.